Hello. Hi, Pradeep. Hello. Hi. Oh, wow. Lovely. Thank you guys for joining. I am just going to allow a few more minutes. I am a little bit early. Hey, Pradeep. Woohoo. Yes, I'm so glad to see you on here. Hi. Hope you've all had a lovely day and a lovely evening and done your clapping as well. I have. My hands feel a bit sore. Okay. Tell me what you guys got up to today, whilst we're still waiting for a few more people to come up. Hi guys. Just waving to everyone. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been part of my journey throughout the day. Oh, Pradeep, you are able to watch back on the live on Harps's page again for the live cooking session that I did with the recipe. And if not, don't worry, I'll send it to you, not a problem. So yeah, it's been really lovely, and I've had amazing response, and lots of you, well, good handful of you have been in contact with me, asking me questions regarding how I manage with my son and autism and everything. And also lots of other questions following the post where I said, please ask me any questions you have. And one of the things I was actually going to talk about within the day, and then based on all the questions I was getting, I thought it would be nice to do it as a live, is mental health. Especially in our culture, in our society, we don't tend to talk a lot about it. And actually, I think it's really, really important. It has become more of a subject that people do start, and I think it's our generation who are bringing it up a bit more. And I follow some amazing accounts on Instagram as well. Hi Mandeep, lovely to see you. Hi Guvi. And at the end of the day, I think it's something, like I said, we need to talk about, so we can all share stories. So hence why, based on the questions I'd received, I thought I'm going to talk about mental health. We've all been through some kind of a mental health problem in our lifespan, and you know what, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, because it's the external, like it's anything that's external that kind of it affects us. And like I said, I started my journey for my kind of healing, well-being and everything about 13 months ago. So it's taken all that time for me to have changed my behaviors and my attitude and everything. Now, what I'm going to share with you, some of it is quite raw, but the reason why I'm sharing is because I want you to see kind of where I was and how what I've implemented has helped me, and how I think and how I react now. Totally different. Okay. So like I said, let's talk about mindfulness. We've all heard the term mindfulness. Is anybody able to tell me exactly what their interpretation is of mindfulness? I did share it in the post earlier, so if you've read it, then that's fine. But when I say mindfulness, because the term is used so many times everywhere, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Anybody wants to share? No? Okay, that's fine. So yeah, well, it's being peaceful within yourself. So mindfulness it's a process which allows you to cultivate awareness, conscious awareness about your thoughts, your feelings, your environment, And it's being present in the moment, and it's kind of like with no judgment and no criticism, right? So we live in such a fast-paced world. It's like a rat race. And about 12, 13 months ago, I got to a stage in my life where I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to live my life like a rat race. Enough is enough. I want changes. I want to make changes. And it's, it's having that strong why. Why is it that you want to make that change? And if anything, you've got to do it for yourself, not for anybody else, not because somebody else is telling you to do it, but you've got to do it for yourself. Okay. So in a nutshell, mindfulness is literally about being present in the moment. So like I'm talking to you, you're listening to me. In a lot of the time we'll be multitasking. So our mind is every single way, and it's kind of like scatterbrain, and that's what we need to stop. It's just about right now, it's just about you, me. I'm talking to you, you're listening to me and absorbing that information, and in the environment you're in. Okay, so it could be, how does something I say to you, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel sad, or does it make you feel happy? What are the sensations in your body? What about in your environment? Does it, and in terms of even your body regulation, heat, are you feeling hot? Are you feeling cold? All that kind of stuff. These are the important things that we need to really be mindful about. Okay. Mindfulness is not about stopping negative thoughts. Okay. That's not what it's about. It is about being aware of them, but not giving them too much, too much time and attention. All right. So, Daddy Condo's kitchen. Thank you. I look amazing. Trust me, I don't feel it right now. But thank you for the compliment. So, it's all about what we are internally is what we portray as externally. Okay. So if I was to say to you, over a year ago, I was this neurotic mother, always getting really angry, really irritable, and I'm being very raw, very honest, very truthful. Little things and I would snap. And for me, that wasn't the life. I know that wasn't me deep inside. It wasn't the life I wanted to live, and it definitely isn't the life I wanted my kids to be around in. I knew I had a lot going on. I was juggling way too much, and I still juggle a lot, but it's all about how I've trained my mind and how I've incorporated and utilized and used the tools that I've learned over the year to help me to where I am. Okay, a lot of you can relate. I see that. And as mums, we're kind of like juggling with everyone go like, oh, you're superwoman. And I'm like, trust me, half the times I don't feel it. But you know what? I feel more for superwoman when I feel that I've got everything under control, but with a peaceful mind. That's how I see that as, okay? So life goes on. Life throws curveballs at us. And one of the questions that I did have was, what has been my biggest lesson learnt so far? Biggest lesson I've learnt so far is shit happens. Life will throw so much at you. Instead of saying, God, why me? Question it. Questioning, instead of saying, why me? Say, try me. Okay, change that thought. Try me. We've got to accept those challenges as a lesson that has been sent to us for us to learn from. And by doing mindfulness and meditation and all of this, I've really come to more inner awareness of why certain things keep happening. Why do they repeat themselves? And that's helped me to deal with those emotions. Okay. I mean, I can go on a lot longer about all of this, but I'm just going to obviously kind of break it down, but also try and keep it short, okay? Because this is a massive, massive topic. But I just want to share briefly about what mindfulness is and the things that have helped me, and something that I'm going to share with you that I want you all to do, because that will really help you, and you could do it with your kids as well, okay? So yeah, we're getting the messages. Yes, we will save this live. Official, this is me. Dust it off and get on with it. Don't let the challenges get the better of us. Yes, but you have to acknowledge it. This is the thing. I always was like, if something came my way, I'll grab it with two hands, and I'll be like, right, let's do it. And then something else will come, right, let's do it. But actually, I didn't stop to think and feel my emotions to that level. I didn't stop to acknowledge what I was feeling. And I didn't stop to say, okay, you know what? This is how I'm feeling. I need to surrender it to God. This is how I'm feeling. Yes, you've put me on this path, but this is how I'm feeling. God knows it all, okay? So it's surrendering and then accepting. If we don't accept some of these emotions, they will keep coming up. And the reason why they keep coming up is because you've not worked on them. You have not acknowledged them. And this is the biggest thing. So my biggest lesson that I've learned is whatever you do in life, mindfulness and work on yourself. That's the biggest takeaway I've had in life. Whatever you do, for me, I wanted to make these changes for myself. I wanted to be a better version of myself. I know my purpose in life. I'm a giver. I'm a healer. I do everything for others, but I don't do it for myself. And I had to change that. So taking time out for myself without the guilt and without feeling ashamed, I started to implement this. And you know what? I used to be the same as many of you are now. God, where do you have the time? Meditation, if somebody said the word meditation to me about 18 months ago, I'd laugh at them thinking, yeah, when do you think I've got the time to do it? Do you know how much I do it? But then I started listening to my own voice all the time. And I thought, I'm getting bored of that. So imagine what somebody else is going through. If it's the same thing they keep saying, and I was not seeing the opportunities that were coming my way. I was not observing the messages that were coming to me. So what was happening? Same situation would happen again. And you'd be like, okay, so here we are back to square one. Okay. Now I still hold down my job. I'm still a mum to 2 kids. I'm still a wife. I'm still a daughter. I still run my business. I was studying on top of all of this. And I've now actually got my diploma in meditation, and I can officially teach it. I could officially teach meditation, which is what I have been teaching throughout my occupational therapy role as well. Worked a lot with lung patients who have COPD and all of that, but also heart patients. But I just wanted to learn more about it, and therefore I did my diploma and studied, and now I've received my certificate, which is credited as well. Whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve it. But the biggest thing you've got to do is go inwards, and that is by mindfulness, meditation. I suffered a lot with anxiety. I would feel so sick in my stomach, and I realized that actually this was coming. This anxiety and fear was coming because I was living either in the past or in the future, but never present in the moment. I lost a lot of special time with my child when they were younger, purely because I was just living for the future. But we don't know what the future holds, right? I mean, look at it now. Look at coronavirus. Coronavirus has brought such a big impact on everyone's life, right? I came down with coronavirus. My family are still suffering from it, but I'm positive, and I've taken the positives from it. And the biggest positives I've taken is, first of all, I'm here. I've got my breath. I am alive. My family is recovering at home. Yes, I'm in isolation for another so many weeks, but that's fine. I accept that. It's allowed me that special time that I wanted, that I wasted because I was busy running around, thinking about my future. I'm now spending that with my kids now. I'm having a stronger bond with them. My anxiety has literally gone from where it used to be there is gone down to there. And please don't think that I don't have low days and don't have anxiety fueling days. I do, but I've got the tools now that helps me to manage everything. Okay. I've suffered from depression in the past. I've suffered from postnatal depression in the past. I've been on medication in the past for my depression. But I got myself off the medication because I knew I was a much better person than that. It was a very, very dark time at that time. And when you're going through those emotions, you can't see. And that's when I used a lot of my baking to help me to get out. It was light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So when we talk about mindfulness, you know, it is all about being present in the moment. Breath. Our breath is our life. We don't have our breath, we are not here, right? A lot of the times we don't even connect with our breath. You know, every hour, every 2 hours, just stop. Listen to your breathing. Just think about it. Are you breathing fast? Are you breathing shallow? Are you breathing deep? What is happening to your breath, your rhythm? Meditation helps you to align yourself back to the body's natural biorhythm, okay? Mindfulness and meditation works hand in hand. And, you know, mindfulness actually is endorsed by the National Institute of Clinical Excellence. It's prescribed, you know, it is prescribed to help with dealing with anxiety, fear, all that kind of, emotions that we hold back. All right. So I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I've been doing throughout my journey. Obviously, I started Reiki practice, and I've now finished Reiki level 1, and I'm due to do Reiki level 2. Breathing exercises. Do you have any meditation techniques? Kamalji, yeah, I'll go through a few, just some very basic ones. So, like I said, when somebody had told me about meditation, I was like, do you think I've got the ability to sit for like 20 minutes or half an hour to meditate? Like, seriously? But then now, I can't live without my meditation. Literally, if anything, on a daily basis, I'll miss my cup of tea, but I cannot live without my meditation because that's how powerful it is. Okay, so a couple of things that are very, very important as well is, like I said, externally life goes on. We don't know what's going to hit us. We don't know what we're going to face, today, tomorrow, even this afternoon or evening, right? But if we have inner peace, if we are more regulated with ourselves, what we're feeling, what our thoughts are, what our emotions are, we are able to deal with that situation in a more practical and calm manner. Okay, so Amrit, yes, absolutely. And you know what? Do go follow Amrit. Amrit Powell. She is amazing. She is actually a qualified psychotherapist. She, Amrit, if you have any points you want to share, do share. But yes, breathwork and meditation absolutely are so important. If somebody was to say to me, what would you prescribe? I'd say, yeah, breathwork and meditation. And you know what? When I say meditation, you don't have to sit there listening to something for like half an hour. Key thing here is with any form of meditation, start off, just think 5 minutes. And 5 minutes is nothing. All right. So I'll share a really quick one with you, just your breathing, just to help you. So within mindfulness, you've got breathing meditation and walking meditation, right? So walking meditation is literally just focusing like on your steps, what's happening to your body, your sensation, what are you seeing around you, but also noticing like when your foot is rising and then hitting the ground, what's happening? That's how mindful we need to be, okay? That's one of the mindful meditations, or a mindfulness meditation. The other one is the breathing. Deep breath in. So first you regulate your breathing. Just notice, just slow down, just notice what your breath is doing, okay? And then take a deep breath in, and then like you're literally like as if you're pushing your abdomen out, your diaphragm out like a balloon, as far as you can. And then you're releasing and sucking your tummy in. And then you just hold with 1. Then you take another deep breath in. And then you breathe out. And then hold for 2. Okay? So you carry that on until you get to 10. And then you start back at 1. Then the next pattern is when you're breathing in, you hold 1. And then you breathe out. Then you breathe in again, hold 2, then you breathe out. Carry on doing that. Okay, now there is a lot of resources out there, whether it's YouTube or Pinterest, whatever, going on showing you the breathing techniques. Okay, I would say start off with breathing first, because that is going to help you a lot more with when you start doing things like meditation and stuff. Meditation, there's lots of different types of meditation. Pranayama is one of the meditations, so your breathing, breath work. You've got guided visualization, progressive muscle relaxation, vipassana, lots and lots of type of meditation. You have to then find what works for you. But when you are a beginner, I would basically say and you know what meditation is? Just stillness of your mind, so you can go inwards, okay? You can just put some music on and just sit still. Literally, don't look at, don't think about anything else. Just sit still. Close your eyes and just focus on your breathing and literally just sit still. If thoughts come through, allow them to come through, but like clouds, allow them to go away as well. If a negative thought is coming in, don't give it too much attention. That's what it's about. You acknowledge it, okay, and then it floats away. Okay, so that's how kind of like the simple kind of form of meditation is what I can, share with you now. Okay, now some of the other things that are really important as well with how to create a healthy lifestyle, because that was one of the questions I got asked, is how have I changed my lifestyle to lead a healthier life? Again, it was my why. Why do I want to do it? Do I want to do it for myself? Do I want to do it for somebody else? My why was so strong that I actually started with leading a healthier lifestyle, not last year, year before, literally a month before Christmas. And everyone's like, God, why are you doing it before Christmas? But my mind was set. Mindset is everything as well with, all of this. And when you, like I said, when your why is really strong, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a date set saying, oh, we'll do it from tomorrow. Actually, it's best to start from now. Okay, because like with anything, Monday will always come, right? So whatever you want to do, start it off then. Just have a strong why, because if you have your strong why, then you will always go back to it. This is why I was doing it. So one of the biggest things I did was looking at what I was eating and made changes. Again, a lot of these changes, you cannot do drastic changes. You've got to start off slow, okay? I started incorporating more, I'm vegetarian anyway, so I was always having my fruit and veg and everything. But I realized I was eating way too much fruit and I needed to kind of change that slightly. So I just, ensured that I was eating more greens and stuff, making sure enough nutrition was going through. And especially being, I suffer from chronic anemia, which means I can't even manage it with medication. I have to go into hospital for transfusion. So, it's really important. Nutrition for me is really, really important. Okay, so like your diet that you put into your body for you to feel good, because gut health is important as well, it's what we call an emotional diet. Emotional diet is all about who are we spending time with, what are we watching, what are we listening to, what are we reading, are we gossiping? I came away from a lot of things, a lot of people where I felt were not in alignment with what I wanted to achieve. And I stopped watching a lot of TV, and I have to put my hands up. I was the one who used to love watching all my Star Plus, episodes. And actually, it wasn't even the drama I was interested in. It was more because of their outfits. But I thought, you know what? all that information is going into my head at night, and then I'm going to sleep. What's happening throughout that sleep cycle is all the crap that I've actually taken in. So if I change that and listen to something or read a book that's inspiring or whatever, that's what's going to go through my head. Because I noticed, and this was an experiment I did on myself, days when I was watching something that wasn't very healthy, shall I say, for your mind, I was waking up the next day feeling sad, irritable, annoyed. And then when I changed it over to, listening to something positive, or doing, say, a meditation before bedtime, listening to audiobook, or reading a book, or just going through affirmations in my head, the next morning I was waking up a lot more calmer, a lot more at peace with myself. I was able to deal with situations in a different manner. It's also, we have different minds. It's like they say, we have a emotional mind, a wise mind, and so forth. We need to think from the wise mind. We need to know what the facts are and everything, okay? Again, this is going into CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. So there's, it's such a big thing that you really can go into for your own well-being. But have a think about, the next few days, think about what have you read today? What have you listened to? I stopped watching the news a lot in this house. And actually, when COVID started, that's one thing I made clear was I said to my husband and kids, we watch news once in the morning and that's it. Because I was going to working with COVID, coming home listening to COVID. Mentally, that was draining me. And actually, it wasn't helping me. It was actually lowering my energy levels. So I had to make those changes, and they supported me with all of that, okay? So we watch news once and that's it. I stopped watching a lot of dramas and series and stuff because I felt that was affecting me. So you've got to find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, all right? And all this is work in progress. Do not expect overnight miracles, because there is no overnight miracles. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to work at it. You've got to find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, okay? So, all throughout my journey, there was a lot of trial and error and everything. Now I have my own ritual. So every day, and this routine is working now, but it also works on my work days as well. My morning routine is first thing when I wake up, before even opening my eyes, I smile, okay? Because that just makes you feel happy already. You're not smiling at anybody else, but you're smiling. I say good morning to my God that I follow. Good morning to my angels, my spirit guides. Good morning to the sun. I also say my gratitude. Thank you for another day where, for an opportunity. I'm alive, I have my breath. Everything else is a bonus. I'm healthy, my family's healthy. I'm grateful. And then I am affirmations. Choose 3 affirmations, 3 things that you want yourself to become. I always used to be this highly anxious person, really not at peace. So even if you're not feeling something, just start saying it every single day. I am peaceful. I am a peaceful soul. I am a peaceful being. Like how we are so quick to adopt negative behaviors, we have to learn how to adopt positive behaviors, okay? So just 3 things that you want to work on yourself, which you know that you want to become. I am a peaceful being. I am a powerful being. I am a fearless soul. A lot of our anxieties also come from, like I said, not being grounded, which is not being present in the now. And if you do suffer from a lot of anxiety, then I suggest you look at what is triggering your anxieties, and please, if your anxiety is really high, do go and, seek help from your doctors, from your GP. Nothing wrong with that, okay? all these tools and techniques will help you alongside that. All right. This is just what I've been teaching, what I've been working on myself, and that has been helping. Okay. I do yoga every morning. Now, again, for a year, I've been wanting to do yoga. But like they say, when the time is right and when you're ready for it, it will happen. And that's exactly what happened. Met the most amazing yoga teacher. You can go follow her. She's Deepa for Yoga, which all of us, well, many of us do have yoga sessions with. You've got to connect with your yoga teacher. Whoever you're learning from, you have to connect with them. Because when you connect with them, you know that you're going to show up and you will practice what you want. And again, what is your why? Okay, why do you want to do yoga? And really, the authentic yoga is mainly for to help with meditation. Okay, that's the true authentic reason why yoga was invented in centuries and in Ayurvedic times. Okay, is because for you to be in a meditative state for an hour or 2 hours, for example, your body has to be strong. You need to have, you need to sit with this erect spine like that for like 2 hours, with your legs crossed. So, that's what the reason why, yoga was created. But yoga has obviously evolved. And yoga helps. I do sun salutations in the morning, my stretches and sun salutations, okay? And then I do my breath work and meditation. Now, you may think, oh my God, that's a lot. Like, how long does it take you? Really, it doesn't take me that long. My affirmations and stuff I'm still doing whilst I'm in bed. And whilst I'm in bed, I'm stretching out as well. My yoga, my breath work and meditation, all in all, is half an hour. And that's fine because you're better off doing some every single day than just 1 hour yoga a week. And Deepa will tell you. Okay, so that's what I kind of like do with my regime. And that's how I've managed to keep my mental health healthy. Which was another question I had, is how do you ensure that your mental health is kept healthy? It's continuously practicing, and even throughout the day, like even today, I've done meditation 3 times. Every single day, I choose the meditation based on what my body is telling me. Some days it's literally just sitting still, listening to music and allowing my thoughts to just pass. Some days it's listening to guided meditation, visualization. Some days it is about chakra balancing. So, when you do meditation, when you really go inwards, you will be guided by what your body needs, what you need and how, and I just use some of the information from YouTube, and I have some scripts as well that I basically use. Okay. Now, like I said, been an occupational therapist for the last 18 years, a lot of the things I've always practiced in my role. I have taught my patients a lot, but never practiced what I preached myself. So it's all about you putting yourself first. And initially I thought, well, how am I going to be able to find the time to do all of this and carry on with already everything that I do? But do you know what? I actually find I've got time to do more. And it's all because I'm at peace with myself. I've done a lot of work healing with for myself. And I've worked with my mindset and awareness. And that helps me. But the other thing I've also learned is how to say no. If something doesn't feel right, I say no. If I don't feel that, so rather than trying to cram everything, I kind of realistically look at it. Can I really do it? I'd love to do it, but can I really do it? No, that's fine. You learn to say no, and that's what I did. Even with my business was built out of my passion and also because of the demand. But it got to a stage where it was very hard. I mean, you imagine you're dealing with a life and death situation at work. Sometimes I'd be stuck with a patient until 7 o'clock in the evening. I can't turn around to a dying patient and say to them, actually, my shift finished an hour and a bit ago. I've got to go home because I've got a cake to bake. Couldn't do it. One of the biggest things I've always carried on doing is when my emotions are all over the place, when I'm feeling sad, I do not cook, I do not bake. We are all energy, right? The water we drink is energy. Whatever we say is energy. So our emotions, emotion is energy in motion, okay? Our emotions basically go into all of this. If I'm cooking something and I'm feeling really angry, really sad, whoever's going to eat my food, is that emotion is going to go into them. That's not what I want. So somebody asked me, they said, what's your go-to comfort food you make when you're sad or need lifting up? Like I said, I don't make anything. I'm going to show you what I do. And this is a really great tool for everyone, okay? But I don't cook. I may have a cup of tea, but I will not cook, purely because I do not want that energy to be passed on, okay? What's the question? I'm a sucker for Netflix. I'd love to just pick up a book. You know what? Again, just why don't you say, okay, Monday, I'm going to put on half an hour just to read a book. Nothing else, just read a book. It's making those little changes, and you will start to notice that actually it becomes a habit for you. And you will realize every Monday you stop watching Netflix. That time is for you to read a book. Where did you get your crystal bracelets from? So Psychic Tree is online. I got from them. These were gifted to me. So I was working a lot on my throat chakra. And my beautiful girls from my group gifted these two to me. This one was actually made for me specifically by a Reiki healer. And yeah, these two ones are from Psychic Tree. Psychic Tree is who I trust online. I also get my sage from there. So I do my sage smudging in my home as well. And obviously crystals. And I've actually got a whole box of crystals here, which has got loads and loads of crystals, all for different things, okay? A really, really good crystal to keep for everyone, which obviously resonates with very high energy and your crown chakra and stuff as well, is amethyst. Amethyst is very, very good for calming anxiety. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the crystals. Okay, so just something, you're welcome. So something I'm just going to share with you, what helped me obviously to get through when I had COVID and I was in isolation in my bedroom as well. I accepted it, that I had it, and then I surrendered it, which was a big thing to do. I could have sat there moping, why am I so unwell? I feel like crap, I feel this, I feel that. But in fact, anyone who I was speaking to, they were like, how are you so upbeat when you're actually got a fever of 39.4 and you're fighting an infection, so a virus so bad? I had faith. I had faith in God. I was born and raised going to Hare Krishna, and that was, I follow Hare Krishna. But for me, it'd be quite surprising or interesting, I don't know. I automatically started chanting, saying the mantras Hare Krishna, and there was another point where I suddenly just started to say the mantra Sat Nam Vaheguru. Yes, I'm Gujarati. I don't believe religion, I don't believe faith has to be any specific religion. My mom grew up, she's Gujarati, she grew up in a community and in literally Sikh households, and she went to a Catholic school. I have, utmost respect for every different faith and religion out there. I will listen to uplifting positive music during the day. And that does include a lot of the Mool mantras that are said in Sikhism. I find myself, it makes me peaceful. Hare Krishna makes me really, really peaceful, makes me so happy internally. And you know what? when I'm like that. And one of the biggest thing I do is when I'm cooking, I always have my music going. So that could be the mantras or anything. And that helps the energy levels and the vibration in the food that you're cooking. We go to the temple, we go to a Gurudwara, we love the prasad. Why? It is filled with love. It's filled with, so much positive energy. You feel it. When you're eating that prasad, you feel, wow, I feel energized. Look at the amount of love and the energy and the positive that you've got going in there. I do the same at home. So all my prasad, all my food is my prasad. I say that to everyone. I say, don't waste it, because lots of love and lots of, I've made it with chanting God's name. And that's how I made it. And the other thing is, one of the things I learned throughout my journey is I always wanted my kids to appreciate, I wanted them to demonstrate gratitude. What I realized that I can tell them, they're not going to do it. When I do it, my daughter does it. She's been filling out this book every day, and it's called My Mindfulness Journey. And it's really beautiful because it goes through everything about, it actually teaches them about breathing awareness and stuff as well. All right. So, mindfulness practice. So things like yoga and, just general exercise, dancing and stuff. Then the breathing awareness. And then body scanning. So what's happening to your nose, what's happening to your hand, feet. So, these things that we're doing, you can do it with your kids. You can do it as a family. Because that's what's really important. I'm glowing. Thank you. Because you know what? I'm just feeling the love. I feel so much energy. Honestly, I can't tell you. I'm literally feeling so much energy from all of you guys. Okay. So you have to fill out good vibes, right? So this is one bit says good vibes. So your day. What made you feel good today? What 3 things are you grateful for? What didn't feel so good? So look, even they've got clouds. So if they've had so like my daughter would basically say, sometimes she had a bad dream. She would write it on there, a bad dream. And that's a cloud. We accept that it's a bad dream. It's not real. And therefore we allow it to float away. And what are you looking forward to? And this is important because I feel that if I had this information when I was younger, my God, I'd be a complete different person by now. But it's never too late. We can all change for the positive, right? And we're all in this together, okay? So anyway, going back to when I had COVID, what kept me going was my mantras, my chanting, meditation. I didn't watch movies. Everyone's like, oh, watch this on Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, and I couldn't be bothered. I really had no energy to watch all that. I was doing a lot of deep breathing. Now, one thing about COVID is, we all know it's a respiratory condition. It affects your lungs. But they're starting to find more and more where it's actually affecting a lot of other it's making your blood go really thick as well. And, so many other problems are coming up and we're learning more from it. So one thing I was really certain of was I do not want this to turn into pneumonia. I'm fit, I'm healthy, and literally I kept affirming, I am well, nothing wrong with me. Yes, I had a fever of 39.4 after paracetamol, but no, nothing wrong with me, I am well. Okay, that helped me go. That helped, kept me going. Breathing, deep breathing is so, so important. Oh, my squats, where can I buy that, please? I'd love to get that for my kids. I will share that, okay? I will share that with you. If I can't find it right now, just DM, send a direct message to Harps's message thing, and then I'll send her the link so she can then put it up, okay? And they're really not expensive, like £5 a book. And they arrive really quickly as well. So I'll find out the details and I'll send that to you. So yeah, deep breathing several times a day. I avoided sleeping on my back because people think our lungs are at the front, but actually at the back. So when you're sleeping, what you're doing is squishing. You're pressing on your lung. So you're not allowing the rise and fall of your lung. All right. And with pneumonia, when you start getting that mucus build up and everything going, you're not getting enough oxygen going through as well. That's why your oxygen levels will start dropping as well. Okay. Lots of steam inhalation. I'm a big believer in using natural oils, essential oils. So if you use doTERRA oils, air is what I used. But you can also use thyme. Thyme is very good for opening up your airways as well. And one of our staple Indian medication is ajwain seeds. Literally, that's a natural bronchodilator. So it helps open up your airways. It's so potent. You literally just roast it a little bit, pop it into a little hanky or a light muslin, and then you're inhaling those fumes, and you will feel that it really does. If you do have any phlegm inside you, it will help bring it up as well. Lots and lots of fluid, honey, ginger, lemon. And when I say lots of fluid, I mean my symptoms were horrible. Every day it was something different. So I started off with a cough and a fever, really shiverish. And then I was also lost taste in my mouth, lost the sense of smell, severe banging headaches. Then I had a very chalky mouth, felt like lead, and it tasted a little bit like metallic. My heart rate, I mean, I'm a fit, healthy young person, no underlying medical condition apart from my anemia. Usually my resting heart rate is between 60 and 73. My heart rate went to 115. That's when my anxiety did kick in, because my heart was literally pounding. So I had to bring myself back. And I'm so glad to see Deepa. She's the most amazing yogi. And she's who I really connected with, and many others have connected with. So do, go follow her page, Deepa for Yoga. She's doing online Zoom sessions as well. And yeah, I followed a lot of my yoga breathing practices having COVID, because that really helped. Topped up on vitamin C, up to 2,000 milligrams a day, because they do use that to help patients who have COVID. Magnesium, zinc, vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is really, really important. A few years ago, I was told by a family neurologist who said, Asians don't have enough vitamin D, and actually it's the lack of vitamin D causes a lot of immunity problems, things like, the rise in cancer and, illnesses and stuff like that in the, Black Asian minority is because of lack of vitamin D. We don't get enough. So I upped the vitamin D as well. Now, being vegetarians, it is hard for us to get vitamin D. And actually, whilst I was unwell, I became completely dairy free. So it was important for me to have extra vitamin D. So I took supplements for it. Magnesium, which is very important, it helps you with the tiredness and stuff, and your muscles as well, because when you're going through COVID, like you get the flu and muscle ache, it's twice as hard, twice as difficult with the muscle ache. I was in severe pain during the night several times, not sleeping. Paracetamol doesn't touch it, but you're not allowed to take ibuprofen. So you can see why I'd literally plug in my earphones and start listening. I'd start listening to spiritual music or anything that's just going to help me get through all of this, okay? And yes, the biggest thing was holding on to my faith. Even when it was really tough, it was holding on to my faith. I had healers assigned to me who were working on me as well. So, and obviously a couple of times I soaked my feet in literally warm water and about half a kilo of salt, because salt helps to remove any negative and all that kind of stuff. Now, I believe in all these things, so they help, they kind of like help contribute to all of that as well, okay? Now, you can take ibuprofen now, the advice has changed. Yeah, for other reasons I can't take ibuprofen anyway, so I couldn't take it. Now, COVID hit my husband in a very different way because he's asthmatic and diabetic. So it's it was amazing. I mean, I was literally just recovering from it day 8, and that's when my husband and both my kids became very unwell. So I had to come out of my recovery to look after them. So my husband, 2 weeks on, and he's still, not really great because of his asthma and his diabetes. That did really affect him more. Last week, beginning part of last week was very tough because it was very touch and go. I have, because of the work I do as an occupational therapist within rapid response, I'm multi-skilled. So actually within my job role, I'm partly a doctor, I'm partly a nurse, I'm partly a physiotherapist, I'm partly everything. Okay. I was able to monitor him. I had my medical kit. So I was able to monitor his oxygen levels, heart rate, breathing, the amount of breaths he's taking per minute. And again, literally implementing a lot of this deep breathing stuff and everything, using his inhalers, whatever, closely monitoring with the GP. He's managed to pull through at home, which I'm deeply, deeply grateful for, because I did not want him. Obviously, if needs be, he would have gone into hospital, but where needed, I was trying to avoid him going into hospital. So there are things that we can do to help as well. Okay. So yes, in a nutshell, these are the things. Now, a couple of things so one of the biggest things that I wanted to share with you, which I really want you all to take away and do for yourself, but also do it with your kids, is one of the biggest techniques and one of the things that helps, and this is part of CBT as well, is what we call the self-soothing box. You know how we hear about self-care kits and everything? Self-soothing box is, so when we get upset or anything, it's all of our emotions and our senses, right? Sometimes it's something somebody said or something then you've eaten or whatever it is. We kind of get wound up and everything. So the self-soothing box is based on items that will help with all of your 5 senses. So we have our sight, we have our smell, we have our taste, we have our touch, and we have our ears, right? So what household items do you have that you could put in this self-soothing box? And this is the answer to the question that I had about what's your go-to comfort food when to make. So I don't touch cooking when I'm feeling like that. What I do is remove myself away and use my self-soothing box. Now, self-soothing box, so for sight, it could be things like pictures that make you happy. And again, it really depends what's made me sad, okay? So it could be pictures, or it could be photos or images of a flower or a bird or gazing out into the sky, anything that makes you happy. So that's one thing. Second is touch. Now, you know how kids like their comforters or blankets, like that. I mean, they say when a child is born, they're born with all the tools they need to live this life. It's us who go in and say, well, you can't use that, or you can't do this, you can't do that. And then they change. They're not sent that way, are they? My 7-year-old still needs her muslin as a comforter. And once I got to know more about this, I've stopped it. That's her comfort. And that's what she uses, and that's fine. So it could be anything like a cozy blanket, a fluff jumper or a shawl or anything that makes you feel like, okay, you know what, I feel comfort. So that's the other thing. So smell. Now, I use doTERRA oils, and again, it depends on what you feel. Now, I love the scent of rose, and rose perfume is very, very, it's my favorite, and it's very uplifting. So rose perfume is what I wear on a daily basis because I find it helps uplift my mood. Some of the oils that I use is, you get this Tisserand brand. I think it's in Boots, but they're all some different scents as well. So find something that you like the smell of. It could be a candle. And actually a candle can work as 2 things. Like, I sometimes like to just stare at the candle flame. For me, that just makes me feel really calm. It makes me feel really zen. So the scent of a candle is good. create a little box for yourself, or just like, you know where your go-to is. Here, I like to listen to the sounds of nature and birds. Today's rain was perfect. Those are the kind of sounds. So what sound do you like that's helping you, that soothes you, okay? And taste. If you like chocolate, you go and have chocolate. My thing is, if I feel sad, or when I was feeling stressed or stuff, I just don't eat. A lot of people turn to food for comfort, but I'm the opposite. I just retract from everything. But for me, is having a cup of tea. And that could be a herbal tea, or that could be normal tea. And that's what I use, okay? So yeah, go and create yourself a self-soothing box, because that's really important. And if anybody wants, I'm happy to just share a little, post on self-soothing box, and, what are the different elements of it and what you need, and I can send it to Harps and she can post it on her page, because I'm aware we're kind of going over time soon as well. The other thing that has been helping me this is a card deck from the Brahma Kumaris. Now, one of the really, really powerful meditations that I started with, which I've shared with a lot of my friends and colleagues at work, is Who Am I? It's a Who Am I meditation by the Brahma Kumaris, and it is so powerful because that is what I used to start my meditation journey. And that really, really helped me. It was after I consistently did that every single day for about a couple of months. After that, I started to notice and pick up on what kind of meditation do I want to do today. Do I want to listen to that again? I actually listened to Who Am I meditation a couple of days ago, just because I was feeling a little bit off again. And then the other thing I do is journaling every day. Journal your thoughts. What is it that you're feeling? What is it that you want to feel? Gratitude, I do write it down, and I break my gratitude into two. One is personal and one is work. When I say work, it doesn't just mean, the work that you do, like going into work or whatever. It could be any kind of work. It could be a business that you're running at home or whatever. Splitting it, like your work. It may not be best, but what are the good things? A work colleague making you a cup of coffee, you're grateful for that. A work colleague messaging you, you're grateful for that. So it's writing, so breaking it down. That's how I do my journal. So I'll kind of start with a date and, write my opening sentence. It could also be how I felt, how I'm feeling, and how I want to feel, what I want to release. And then I write my gratitude, thank you, 3 times. And then I also do my affirmations. And again, sometimes I'll write a list long of affirmations, which is about 10 or 12, or sometimes it could just be a few. So these are the kind of tools that have really helped me. The other person who does some amazing, the poetic positivity messages, this is something I also use with the kids. So every day we'll just take a little, put our hand in and, what message do we get? And this is by Harmi Kaur Barrier. She's on Instagram. I don't know, because I know she changed her handle as well. But she's the same person who's written this poetic gratitude book. So, it's that, I hope everything that I've shared today and in this live has really kind of given an overview of how important mindfulness and meditation is to our mental health, and how important it is to take time out for ourselves, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day. And yes, many of you are probably sitting there thinking, I don't have time. We do have time, because once you start doing this, you'll realize you've got the time to achieve what you want and prioritize what you want, and listen to your inner voice. Because actually sometimes we're in search for answers externally, but all the answers are actually deep within us. And until you do this, you're not going to be able to obviously get the answers. So I've got 20 seconds remaining. if there are any questions, do post them and I will answer them. But I really, really hope you've enjoyed the whole day with me and the live and everything I've shared. Thank you so, so much to all of you for joining in. Bye-bye.